Good morning and what's up YouTube? Hope you guys are having a good week. It is Friday, last day of the week, May 26th. We just had some USD news drop, of course PCE, durable goods. Let's look ahead to next week, see if we have anything specific that might drive the market for this next week. JOLTS job opening at 7. Looks like they don't have any forecasted numbers for anything. That's fair. Non-farm on the first on Thursday, plus unemployment claims. Okay. So those will be some pretty big ones next week. The JOLTS, the non-farm, and the unemployment. Let's get into the trades. Let's see. So the only trade we're in right now is EURGBP. We got in around 2 days ago. Price came down to this level of support, came back up, rejected, has come down. Just a little wishy-washy. It's on the 5 minutes in a nutshell. We had set our stop at 24 pips above this previous high over here, and aiming for a 2-to-1. So aiming for 48 pips. Outside of that, we've sort of accumulated a number of losses over the last couple of days. CADCHF being one of them. Anticipating a bit of a trendline break to the downside. Did not go as planned. USDJPY anticipating also a reversal of trend to the downside. So this is what I get for not trading the trend. Let's see, and then a host of trades where I was trying to trade the trend and got knocked out by some pretty strong news. So EURNZD, there was the interest rate decision for the Kiwi dollar a couple days ago. Ended up going as expected, 25 basis points, which was apparently not good for the dollar, as all NZD pairs dropped. Sorry, just checking something out. Base and quote. Jeez, I need to remember those. Base and quote. So yeah, every base pair against the NZD went up. Or sorry, every base pair of the NZD went down. Every quote pair went up. If you're like me and you just don't remember that, the base currency is the first listed and the second one is the quote currency. So in EURNZD, the euro is the base, the NZD is the quote. I know that, I just, for the life of me, can never remember it. Also a sell against news. Got it up top. Anyways, let's move right along. Let's review some of our potential setups. So here's a potential setup for USDCAD. We broke the trend line. We're continuing on this lower time frame. This more recent trend line up. We have this level of structure here with this trend line support. We're hoping to get into a buy here. Same for USDCHF. Very similar. Broke the trend line. New recent support up. Looking to get into a buy. EURUSD. Very much the opposite, so you can tell that these trades are all somewhat very related. We broke this trend up are continuing on to the downside, and we are looking for a sell right around this level here. And then lastly, CADJPY. I think yesterday we were looking for a sell right around this level. It ended up hitting the alarm for the trade, or the alert for the trade, but we canceled it. We canceled the alert, we acknowledged the alert. We just didn't do anything because the price action had sort of changed a little bit. Looks like it got a lot of support down here and has continued higher, and that sort of invalidated the trade setup. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna analyze the market slightly differently today. We're gonna start with gold and the stock indices. So here we have gold. I think I had previously mentioned, had price continued up here, we were looking to get into a sell. It did not. It's continued to sort of fizzle down. Not much I can see on the 5-minute here. A bit of a structure here that could have been a good sell earlier in the morning. I wouldn't have taken it, but it could have been a good sell in the morning. Moving right along, US 30. Let's view it on the higher time frames. Yeah, again, I think I mentioned yesterday we were possibly looking at it as a sell here, but we didn't get enough confluence from the other two charts. So US 500 and US 100, or sorry, yeah, US 5 and US 1 are both trending up, whereas US 30 is trending down, and so we kind of want the confluence of all three going in a similar direction. But otherwise, not much set up on either of the other two. So if you have the premium version of TradingView, which I don't know how many of you do, what you can do is you can organize things into baskets. So pretty much all it takes is being able to have every pair twice. So that way I have a full yen pair basket here, and then it very quickly lets me know that the yen is doing quite well today. Not overly well, you know, usually their price points are up by about or I guess in a sense the yen is doing poorly, as it is the quote pair. So because the yen is doing poorly, all of these base pairs are up. So that in and of itself is a bit of a confluence. It lets us know that, hey, maybe we can get in on buy on one of the yen pairs today. So what we do is, because this is just for the day, the change in the change percent is just for the day, we can take a look at each pair, quickly identify how each pair is looking, what the price action looks like. So for example, the AUDJPY and NZDJPY, they're a bit weaker compared to the rest, and that's strictly because of the interest rate decision, as far as I'm aware. But we look at other pairs, the Euro and the GBP and the CHF are all looking quite strong. So what we can do is we can mark up these charts. Was that the 530 candle? That was the 530 candle. So that was the news. And so when we take a look at this, we mark up our stronger pairs or we mark up the ones that look like they're doing the best. That look like they have the best pattern, that look like they're doing the strongest. And what we can do is we can sort of differentiate and possibly trade the stronger ones. And go trade with the trend. So we can see on the 5-minute that each one is up, and then we just go back to the hourly. And let's just view this all again from the larger time frame perspective. So it takes a bit more of analysis because you're constantly flipping between all the charts, but always a good opportunity to look at trends as currency baskets, since they're all correlated. It gives a bit of confluence. I know there's a lot of people that are very big fans of trading a single pair. They say you need to know the in and outs of a single pair, and that's fair. That's one way of trading. But every single currency pair is correlated with one another. If you can identify an edge on one pair, you can potentially use that as a confluence for trading opposite pairs. So moving right along, just out of those ones, I would probably give the Canadian, the Euro. Yeah, 4 of them would be worthwhile investigating further. Not right now, but a little later in the day. CHF, GBP, Euro, and the CAD. All have decent looking setups. They all have good momentum on the day. Of those, the GBPJPY is doing the strongest, which is probably why the EURGBP is down. Just means the pound is probably doing pretty well today. In fact, I haven't looked at the pound basket, but let's look down at the pound basket. And we can see, yes, indeed, the pound is up as every single base, and it is down as the quote. So I didn't have to look at this basket to know the pound yen was up today. Just looking at the JPY, the yen pairs, and seeing that the pound yen was the highest just gave me enough of a clue to know that the pound is probably doing the strongest today. It's that simple. All right, let's move along. Let's start analyzing the US dollar basket. Start with EURUSD. That's sort of the analysis. Right now we're in a bit of a pennant. We do have this sort of cup and handle formation mixed with this lower high formation, but we're also making higher lows. This will be an interesting one. We're probably going to want to wait for another rejection and then for breaking below this trend line before we get in. should come no surprise that GBPUSD is looking very similar to EUROUSD. They're a very correlated pair. Again, maybe not a cup and handle basket. We are making this slight downtrend here, and then in the very most recent price action, we are making a slight uptrend. So again, what we're going to want to see is some sort of rejection at this level of structure and then a break below this trend line. Preferably a break below this trend line, a retest at the structure, and then a continuation lower. I would say we have what appears to be a lot of structure breaks. So we were in this descending channel, we broke the structure on this stronger trend down, and now we've broken that structure to the upside. We don't necessarily have a clear, we broke the support down here, which suggests we don't really have much of a clear level of structure where we're looking for some sort of pullback to it, which is typically how I like to trade. I like to look for a very clear level of structure for price to pull back to. If it pulls back to that price level, excellent, peachy, let's get into the trade. If it doesn't pull back to that price level, excellent, peachy, let's move on to the next one. The goal is to try your best not to force trades. Trade according to your strategy. There will always be another trade in the market, and trading against your strategy, especially winning when you're not trading against your strategy, is a terrible thing. I used to think it was the best, you know? You just kind of intuitively saw something in the market and you're just like, perfect, and you end up making a winning trade. And the issue with that is it sets bad habits, because that's not how you make money long term. It's how you might think you make money long term. You could be getting lucky, but that's not how you make money long term. Alright, this guy's the sort of pullback we're expecting. Right at this level here. Same with this guy. And this more recent pull up. Oh, just give me 1 sec. Let's see if this intermission screen works. There we go. Alright, I will be right back. USD is back. Let's continue right along. Alright, we'll mark up the DXY as well. You can see we are trending up pretty well here. So pretty much what we should be doing is anything where the USD is the base pair, we're looking for longs. Anything where USD is the quote pair, we're looking for shorts, which is more or less what we're doing. And then very simply, we're just looking for the best opportunity in that. So we're not going long on every USD quote pair. We're looking for the one where the pattern stands out the strongest. And that is what you call astrological trading. Because you see a pattern and you think it means something and you get into a buy or a sell, when really you're just trading a trend and you're getting lucky. Like every single yen pair is more or less bullish. Maybe, well, yeah, they're more or less pretty bullish. Maybe AUD and NZD are a little down. So if you get into a buy, you can make these little lines in charts. You can draw these little rectangular boxes and you can draw these little diagonal lines. And you could see price pull back to this level here, and you could get into a buy, and you could say, you know, imagine price were to hit this level and go higher. Even better, it goes a little lower and then goes higher, and you say, see, my strategy works. I drew the right supply and resistance level, or support and resistance, or trend line level, when in reality you had just bought at a point in a trending chart that had no relevance on the fact that it was just a pullback and was going to continue higher. You could probably trade trending charts with a naked eye. It just helps to identify some sort of price level. Once CHF pulls back, when CHF-JPY pulls back and starts to continue higher, it's going to do that with the same as every other pair. It's not going to be alone. I mean, it might if there was a news event, because then the Swiss is what's affecting that price market. But if there's no news event, it's going to be every single yen pair taking off together, just like it usually is. So when you're trading an individual pair, you're not really trading the pair, you're trading the entire currency. So when someone says I trade the pound yen, they don't, they trade the yen. I hope that makes sense. Let's look at the CAD. go back to regular charts. So this shit takes forever to go through. 28 pair Forex. Let's try to blitz through this. This is 5 minute and the hourly AUDCAD. We can see our entry is right gonna be up here. AUDCHF. Similarly, entry might be a little higher, sort of at this level up here. If we do get into one, AUDJPY. There's other JPY pairs that are probably better, more bullish to buy. AUDNZD. We're sort of letting the momentum from the interest rate decision just carry this on where it needs to go. Wait for patterns to form again. Can't say there's anything I'm looking to do with this guy. AUDU, similarly as AUDCAD, looking for price to come up here and then go for a sell. CADCHF, sideways price action. Lots of just meandering price action here. Could be good for a sell. Take a quick look at how the CAD basket's doing. I feel like the Canadian dollar as a whole is pretty weak today. If we rummage through the base pairs, CADCHF is down, CADJPY is up, similar to all the JPYs. UCAD is up, EUROCAD is up, GCAD is up. NZDCAD is the one that's down. Again, still quite weak off of that interest rate decision. AUDCAD is up on the day, but still down, pretty weak overall. We have all this trend line support, just connecting a bunch of trend lines. I like to make sure I'm not missing out on one or two trend lines. CHFJPY. EURAUD, nice little bounce to the top side. This was one of the trades we ended up taking a loss. Got in at like 1.635 and took an L as price went to 1.642. I'm just gonna let this guy go sideways for now. EURCAD starting to come up a little higher. Yeah, CHF in this descending trend line, I think we had set a sell at like 1.976. Price never ended up getting up that high, has just continued downward. So we're just looking for sells when price pulls back to a good enough level to get in. EURJPY, similarly, can be looking to get into a buy if price pulls back. Always be a little wary if price pulls back, especially if it's too sharply. It could signal a change in trend. Get knocked out of the trade hits the stop loss before it continues on higher. EUROU. This is the sort of entry we're looking for. GBPAUD. Nice upward trend. Again, a sympathy play off the Kiwi dollar. It's a terrible trend line. Do have this nice level of structure here, but not much trending happening. GBPCAD, I think we did mention that we would probably look to get into a sell at this level, 1.685. Just based on this previous price action. We had this top over here, we had this support level here, we had this previous rejection here, and here. However, the euro is not the euro. The British pound is doing pretty well, and the Canadian dollar is not. So the momentum on the day dictates that we don't just blindly get into the sell. We should be a bit more what's the word? Restricted? No, picky. Whatever a good synonym for picky is. You bet your ass I'm looking it up. Fastidious, persnickety. I don't get why dainty. Choosy. Captious. I feel like none of these are the words I was thinking. Selective, exacting, fastidious. Fastidious is a good one. We should be a bit more fastidious in picking our trades today. All right. Continue on, GBPCHF. Nice breakout from this previous trend, continue a little lower. Price is just meandering sideways, not much happening here. GJ is being quite momentous today. GBPNZD, nice, continuing very high. He's reaching that peak that he typically reaches when he comes back down. You know what I mean? So peak here at 204, peak here at like 205, peak here at 202. This huge whipsaw was what was this huge whipsaw? COVID. Honestly, I don't have a good explanation for this huge rise and then dump in the British pound or the GBPNZD, but we can see across the board, across the years back till about 2012, he typically rises to somewhere between 205 to 210 before coming back down, and that is just man, I'm gonna speak very out of turn here and very out of line, but it likely relates to countries trying to keep their currency pairs from getting too high. You know, there's a reason currency pairs stay within a trade range. It's because they're all correlated with one another. They're all based off of each other's values. And so if GBPNZD is getting super high, there has to be yeah, you know, the Kiwi dollar is getting super low, so they like to keep currency pairs within a controlled value range. Anyways, GBPNZD slowly working his way up, could be good for a sell once he starts to come back down. GU, oh, that's disappointing. We did not take that trade. I think that was just an idea from yesterday that would have come very close to panning out. I think the idea was price was under this level of support, but we were expecting price to pull back. We had this lower trend line support. It was likely, I would guess, diverging here. Like, if you were to pull out an RSI or a MACD or something, these two price points were likely a regular divergence. NZDCAD, I think we're looking to do the same thing. We're looking to get into a buy down here if price shoots down too low too quickly. The only issue is we look left and we don't really have a lot of support structure. At least with GBPUSD, we could say, hey, these are good levels of support here that price is breaking below. It's likely going to come back up again. Moving back along, yeah, NZDCHF. Price is continuing a little bit lower. Again, we're not trying to pick the bottom here. We're not trying to catch a falling knife. We're just letting it melt, letting it form structure, letting it form pattern, and we will get into the trade at some point. NZDJ. Price is at this nice level of support, but similarly, as much as I trust the yen to be pretty weak and for price to come back up, I also trust that people are still selling the Kiwi and to keep price down. So we are just going to monitor. NZDU. Oh. We do have these two levels of support here, where price is now. It's below this level of support. If it matched up to some sort of trend line channel level, I'd be more keen, but it has not. So you're going to stay out. USDCAD, I think we reviewed this earlier. This is sort of what we're looking to get into. As price pulls back down here, we're looking to get into a buy to continue a little higher. Similarly for USDCHF, as price comes down, we're looking to get into a little buy for price to continue higher. And same with EURUSD. We're kind of hoping price would start to come up a little higher so we could look to get into a sell. That's sort of it. There's not much else. We've kind of gone through all 26 pairs. This is sort of the only trade we're in right now, is this EURGBP trade. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for joining, appreciated, and the streams will pick up again next week. Record's been sadly upgraded. Looking to pick up some more W's and some more pips and some more R's for the stream, as well as for the signals. We've got 3 more days in the month. Thanks for tuning in. Wish you all the best in your trading journey and your trades today, and see you Monday.